So here we're going to approximate or truncate the value of 4 radical 7. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at radical 7. And where does that thing live? Well, it's between 2 and 3, right? Because 2 squared is 4 and 3 squared is 9. Okay, so 7 is between 4 and 9. And this means that the square root of 7 is between the square root of 4, 2, and the square root of 9, 3. So far we've got a good start, right? And we know it's between 2 and 3. But what if we wanted to approximate further to the nearest 10th value? What would we do? Well, first of all, the square root of 7 is, the square root of 7 is closer to 3. Why? Well, remember that 3 squared is 9. And if we subtract 7 from 9, we get 2. 2 squared is 4. And if we subtract 4 from 7, we get 3. So if we look at the distance between 4 and 7, it's greater than the distance between 9 and 7. So that means 3 and the square root of 7 are closer together. So for a decimal approximation, we know it has to be greater than 2.5. So that's a good start, right? So let's make a guess now. 2.7, I'll try that one, about halfway between 2.5 and 3. We want to square this. So you can treat this like 27 times 27, but it's going to be 100 times smaller, so we'll move that decimal twice to the left. 7 times 7 is 49. 7 times 2, 14, plus 4 is 18. Placeholder. 7 times 2 again is 14. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So we get this. We get 9, 2, 1, and 7. So 2.7 is too high because 2.7 squared is 7.9, so we try a decimal lower. Right? We're approximating or truncating this decimal. 2.6 next, squared. So 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 3 is 15. Placeholder. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. What do we get now? We get 6, 7, 6. So this is lower. So now we know the square root of 7 is between 2.7 and 2.6, but which one is it closer to? Well, again, we're going to subtract. Well, 7.29 minus 7 is 0.29, right? It's 0.29 away from 7. 6.76 minus 7, I can reverse it or take the absolute value, same thing. Or I can do 7 minus 6.6 or 6.6 minus 7, but the absolute value will give me the same result. Anyway, sorry, so I think of how far 76 is from 100, right? Because that's the distance between 0.76 and the next whole value. So that's what? Well, that's 24, 0.24. So it's a little bit closer to the 2.6. So that's the value we would use here if we're approximating to the tenths value. You can keep going, and this would be the process we use as you approximate further and further and further. So it's between 2.7 and 2.6, but I'll say the square root of 7 is closer, or it's approximately 2.6, right? Because now we can approximate our given value in the beginning. We have 4 radical 7. Don't forget that, right? That 4 is we need to think about. So 4 radical 7 equals about what? Well, 4 times 2.6, which is equal to 4 times 2, which is 8, plus 4 times 0.6, which is like 4 times 6, or 24, but 10 times smaller. We add these two together, we get 10.4, right? And that's our approximation based on the idea that the radical 7 is really close to 2.6. But you want to be careful. When you're approximating, don't say that the answer to this right here is about 2.6. All you're doing there is approximating radical 7. But this is really 4 radical 7 when we start. All right, thanks.